Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Are you ready to give your probable cause testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Please identify yourself, name and badge number for the record.
Detective John Bettendorf, badge number 741, Van Buren Township.
Thank you. This is People versus Christopher Westfall. I've got one count of possession of methamphetamine or ecstasy, one count of fleeing a police officer in the third degree. Are you going to testify from personal knowledge or an investigator's report here?
Both.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Swear affirm that everything you're going to tell me is the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Please proceed.
Okay, the complaint states that on November 16th, 2023 at approximately 4:40 p.m., Buren Township officers were dispatched to the address of 6185 West Adams Street, Van Buren Township, Michigan, 48111, in reference to an unknown elderly male, possibly in the company of a 16-year-old home alone autistic female. As officers were pulling up to the scene, the caller pointed to Mr. Westfall's vehicle, which proceeded to pull away from the address. At that time, Officer Valvesta, fully marked Van Buren Township patrol car in a Class D uniform, attempted to make a traffic stop. Mr. Westfall failed to stop. A chase ensued, reaching speeds up to 85 miles an hour and 55 before he eventually crashed in Sumter Township, then fled on foot. After a short foot chase, he was taken into custody without incident and brought back to Van Buren Township for processing. During a recorded Miranda interview, he admitted to fleeing from police because he had warrants, indicated that the drugs seized from his vehicle were his, the methamphetamine. He indicated he had gone to that address to meet the 16-year-old who he thought was 29 on a dating app to hook up. That case is still being investigated by the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office for additional charges. They're a forensic interview.
Thank you. How was the illegal substance identified?
True Narc with Canton.
Thank you. And have you reviewed the True Narc results? Because I don't have them.
I'm sorry. Yes, I have, ma'am. It tested positive for methamphetamine.
All right. So your personal review and is your sworn testimony that it was a positive test for methamphetamine. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. As soon as I get one of the attorneys back, Mr. Garrett or Gregory, I'm sorry, whoever's going to do that, we'll go ahead to the arraignment portion. But I do find probable cause here, and I'm signing it now.
Yes,
please just need a little patience. He's probably conducting some other interviews out county. He'll be with us as soon as he can.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. The record, what's your name?
Christopher Joshua Westfall.
Thank you. All right, People versus Christopher Joshua Westfall. Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Austin Gregory, PA 5193, on behalf of Mr. Westfall, who's present by Zoom, has been made aware of his constitutional rights. Waives formal reading and stands mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived in interest of not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I'll hear your arguments as to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Westfall is accused of non-assaultive crime, while he does have a previous history of convictions. Those are non-assaultive, the most recent being 2017. He does stay with family, Your Honor. He has two children. One is he has special needs and he does provide care for. He's a lifelong Michigan resident who's 41 years old. He is employed, self-employed in home cleanouts, Your Honor. So he does have stable income, housing, and this is a non-assaultive allegation. He does understand his need to appear for any and all court dates. So we ask for the court to set a personal bond in this matter.
Thank you. You know, flight is indicated in the investigator's report here. There is a prior conviction for fleeing and eluding, as well as forging license plates. That does cause me some concern about flight risk. While some of the background information in the case concerns me about community safety, nothing related to that was charged here. So somebody looked at all of the information and determined not to charge anything in that respect. So I'm not going to certainly take that into account. My main concern is dealing with possible flight and reappearance, given both the flight alleged here and the drug charge alleged here. So I'm going to set a personal bond. Bond is set in the amount of $50,000 personal. However, Defendant must be fitted with a GPS tether before leaving the jail. That tether will have a curfew from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. Next court dates, probable cause conference, November 29th at 9 a.m. For the probable cause conference, preliminary examination set for December 6th at 9 a.m. All right, looks like, well, those are the dates. Okay, any further questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
For me.
That's done, and that's done. Thank you. What's our status on Dearborn and Redford?
Don't say your name.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Jason Petri.
Okay, Mr. Petri, I need to do the probable cause hearing with the officer first, so if you'd ask him to step over so that I can do that, please.
Officer, I guess she said.
Hi, we need to do the probable cause hearing first, please. Name and badge number for the record.
I'm just a cadet.
Okay, so I need the officer who signed as the complaining witness in this case to appear before me to do the probable cause hearing. Thank you.
I'm not. It's kind of cool here, and a judge talk to people, and the way that we get talked to back there. That's
Mr. Petri, you're live and on the courtroom.
yeah, I know. It cheered me up. I'm sorry.
Officer Russell.
Hi, Officer Russell, Magistrate Ramsey. He's calling to do your probable cause hearing on Brandon Reed. Name and badge number for the record, please.
Okay, you know what? That was Janine. Janine, magistrate's on the phone. Yeah, I didn't recognize the number. I'm sorry.
That's okay. My phone's down on the bench.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is there any way you can just call back?
Oh, wait a minute. It just came up. I'm sorry.
Can you call back? Because I can't transfer you to where she's at.
Yeah, but this is the number I had to dial. Are you giving me a different number?
No, it's the same number. It's just I can't transfer to her desk.
Got it.
Okay,
Thanks. Bye.
thank you. Bye.
Detroit Narcotics. Mitchell speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, Mitchell. One moment, please. Mr. Petri, if there's someplace you can have a seat or something in there, feel free to do so. You don't have to just stand on camera unless they want you to stand there. Okay? All right.
I've been for 3 days, so I didn't know if I should stay in here or.
Yep. There's a couple things that have to get done before I can do your arraignment, so it's okay. We're just waiting for that officer. All right, Officer Mitchell, name and badge number for the record, please.
Corporal Greer Mitchell, badge 140, assigned to the Detroit Narcotics Prison Processing Unit.
Thank you. This is People versus Brandon Reed. 1 count of carrying concealed weapon, 1 count of possession of controlled substance, that being oxycodone. Are you going to testify from personal knowledge or investigator's report?
Investigator's report, and there are 2 defendants in this, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Brandon Reed and Alexis Perry. Please raise your right hand. Swear affirm that the contents of the report you're using are true to the best of your information and belief.
I do.
Thank you. I've got defendant 1, Mr. Reed, charged with carrying concealed weapon. I have defendant 2, charged with the possession of controlled substance. Please go ahead with your testimony.
On November 17, 2023, officers were working in semi-marked scout car modified uniforms when they were on routine patrol in the area of Bringer and Hickory Streets in the city of Detroit when Officer Fregoso observed a 2015 Dodge Dart 4-door Michigan license plate OPMWV88 disregard the stop sign at northbound Hickory. Officer Fregoso, along with his partners, conducted a traffic stop of the vehicle, which pulled into the driveway of 20242 DeQuinder. Officer Fregoso approached the driver's side window and requested the driver's license, which the driver later identified as Brandon Reed, defendant number 1, was unable to provide. The defendant informed Officer Fregoso the vehicle he was driving belonged to the front seat passenger, who was later identified as Alexis Brianna Perry, defendant number 2. Officer Fregoso asked defendant number 1 if the driveway he pulled into was his home, to which defendant number 1 responded no. Officer Fregoso, along with his partners, detained defendant number 1 pending further investigation. While at the driver's side door detaining defendant number 1, Officer Fregoso observed defendant number 2 attempting to conceal something behind her back. Officer Fregoso ordered defendant number 2 to place her hands behind her back, at which time Officer Torres Lopez secured defendant number 2. As Officer Torres Lopez removed defendant number 2 from the driver's side from the seat of the vehicle, Officer Fregoso was observed in plain view, and on top of the passenger seat, a brown pill bottle with a defaced sticker containing 120 oxycodone hydrochloride pills. Officer Fregoso advised defendant number 2 she was being placed under arrest for DCSA and notified narcotics, PPU. Poison control operator Lauren was notified, and defendant number 2 does not have a map available for the pills. Fregoso ordered a tow for defendant number 2 vehicle, then began an inventory search of the vehicle, in which Officer Fregoso recovered from underneath the driver's seat of the vehicle a silver and black FNH FNS-40 caliber handgun loaded with 1 live round in the chamber and several rounds in the magazine. Defendant number 1 was then advised of Officer Fregoso's findings and placed into custody for CCW motor vehicle.
All right. Did he have a CPL?
No, it does not.
Thank you. How were the drugs identified?
Through drugs.com
Thank you.
and my operator by poison control.
Thank you. All right. I do find probable cause. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, officer. Is it Gazowski?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Good morning. I'm going to take probable cause hearing on people versus Jason Michael Petri. I've got 1 count of domestic violence. Would you please state your name and badge number for the record?
Lieutenant Michael Gazowski, 0177.
Thank you. And are you going to testify in this case from personal knowledge or an investigator's report?
Investigator.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Swear or affirm that the contents of that report are true to the best of your information and belief.
I do.
Thank you. 1 count of domestic violence. Please proceed.
On November 11th, 2023, officers Rizik and Tynan of the Dearborn Heights Police Department were dispatched to the address of 665 North Beach Daily in the city of Dearborn Heights for a report of family trouble. They arrived and Officer Rizik made contact with Jason, who was the caller in this case and also the defendant in this case, stated that his girlfriend Alexandra had gotten a verbal altercation over Christmas tea decorating the children. It was a brief statement. They then made contact with Alexandra, who stated that they were in a Christmas tree, that Peter grabbed her by the arm and started to shove her. The officers, Officer Rizik noted in his report that he observed red marks on Alexandra's left arm. Both the officer and Alexandra stated that Jason had been drinking that night. Based on that information, they made a probable cause arrest of Peter for domestic violence. I then called with the complainant yesterday morning, who advised that there have been numerous issues with domestic violence. She confirmed her statement from the night before and stated that she would like to pursue prosecution in this matter.
All right, thank you. Are you aware, I know you got her statement that there were prior issues. Are you aware of any prior runs or prior convictions for domestic violence or prior runs that you guys have made to this location?
So we do have prior runs, but no prior convictions. I believe there was 1 prior arrest that was not prosecuted.
Okay, thank you. All right, I do find probable cause to support the charge here. I'm going to sign this and we'll move on to the arraignment portion. I'll let Mr. Gregory know that we're ready. Oh, he's right here with us. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. All right. And sir, would you please state your name?
My name is
Mr.
Mr. Jason Petri. Oh, sorry, I think.
Thank you. Nope, I was talking to you, Mr. Petri. Thank you for that. All right. People versus Jason Petri. Counsel.
Austin Gregory, P85193, on behalf of Mr. Petri, who's present by Zoom, has been made aware of his constitutional rights. Waives for reading and stands mute.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I'll hear your argument as to bond.
Mr. Petri has significant standing in the community. He has 3 children, 7, 6, and 5. We do understand that this is an assaultive allegation, but he does not have any assaultive criminal history. He has lived in the community for the past 3 years, and before that, he lived for a long time as well, but he did relocate to Tennessee for a portion of his life. He is not employed currently, but he does have an interview scheduled for tomorrow, and he does volunteer in the community by doing yard work for his neighbors. We would ask for a personal bond in this matter. He does understand a no contact order. Respectfully, he would ask for a one-time police escort, as he does have things that are even causing an impediment to the residents currently, or the remaining residents. His vehicle is in the driveway, it's the last car in the driveway. So we would ask for a one-time police escort and a personal bond in this matter, with the understanding of the no contact order.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Petri, I'm going to give you a personal bond, and it is a high personal bond. I'm going to make your personal bond $100,000. That means you do not have to pay to get out of jail today. But if you violate the conditions of your bond, you could find yourself back in there, and someone could attach that number to you in a different way. Do you understand?
I promise to you, I will never mess up your bond. I am the on-time.
All right. Bond is set at $100,000 personal. You are to have no contact with the complainant in this case, meaning no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempted contact would be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. You may not return to 6635, the address that this is alleged to have occurred, all right? Except you may have a one-time police escort to the property to gather your belongings. And if a judge chooses to later lift that no contact order, they can do so. But for now, that's where we are. Next court date, November 29th for pretrial, 9 a.m. Thank you.
I have a question. How do I see my children? Okay. Or do I just wait until this is over?
Yeah, you're going to have to ask. So you have a court date on November 29th. That's in 10 days. All right. So when you see the judge in 10 days, you'll have an attorney who will know more about your case. We'll spend a little bit more time with it. You can ask them to talk to the judge about child exchange through a third party or in a public location or something like that.
Thank you, because I miss them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, officer. Appreciate you. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye.
Thank you very much.